welcome to the Cultured Experience. So this is where we talk about experiences that we've had, and it is an honor to have you here today because we would like to hear about what you've experienced, you know, before us.
Let me say this, it's an honor for me to be here, that anything I can possibly do to help the generation coming up, here I are.
We definitely appreciate you. As far as your contribution to the healthcare system, what have you done just working in the healthcare system?
Okay, now in the healthcare system, the only work I've really done is with nursing home, and the reason I did that is because it was a Black-owned with Black patient
Okay.
nursing home
Really?
Okay.
Where was that?
over in Walnut Hills. It's still there.
Really?
hmm
No, why? But why?
Because it was the only thing Black. Okay.
Okay.
The home that I'm speaking about, it was started way back, and it was home for homeless colored women. Okay.
Okay.
And then later on it became into a nursing home.
Okay.
And by it being Black like that, and this was back in late 80s, and I wanted to help out. I went over there one day and seen how they were living, and the other thing is I met my wife there, so anyway.
Okay.
So that was my best experience from that nursing home.
Okay.
But to actually help older people, what I mean by that is the older people in my life had passed on, but I knew what these people were going through from talking and being around the older people that were in my life.
Okay.
And one of the things that I noticed the most about them is they were forgotten, or that to me is how it seemed. And I would go in there after work and go to the store for them, sit and talk with them. There was this one girl who just wanted to get around out of the building. And I would go, my wife was a charge nurse, so I would tell her, well, Liz would like to get some fresh air. She'd give me a nurse assistant and we'd take her around the clock. So little things like that somebody else might not mean nothing, they don't get. There's so many times that family would come in there with the attitude of, mother's hair has come. Well, take mother with you. You think she can get better care? I don't want to do that, so shut up. Okay?
Yeah.
All right? And like I have a philosophy on when I hear people talking about they have a bad day, and I guess I blame religion, I say we all pretty much learned the same prayer. Give us this day our daily bread. You woke up, you've been fed, shut up. Go on with your life.
Yeah.
And I didn't mean to run off with the conversation, but
It's okay.
No.
Yeah.
okay. But you know, if you're gonna help somebody, and the medical field, that should be just not called help, but help.
Yeah.
Because nobody goes to a doctor, well, this one should doctor was smart. No, you want help.
Right.
You should be able to get help.
Yeah.
In our history, there has been so many things that stood in the way of Black people getting help. The man who successfully, I won't say invented heart transplants.
Right.
Why did he die? Because he could not be served and seen at a white hospital and died on the way to the colored hospital. So as far as differences in the medical field, I have seen a lot more brown people, but they're not brown like me.
Yeah.
They don't have the same accent I have.
Right.
Now, how they can come from another country, live here for 7, 8 years and become a doctor, and I've been here all my life, and I can't even get into a clinic. Now somebody tell me how that works. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I ain't Stevie Wonder or Ray Charles, but I don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that is a problem because, you know, in this country especially, we've had to fight harder for the same basic rights as most other races and cultures.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and that's one of the reasons that we trying to, you know, look out for our own. It's like, you know, if y'all not going to take proper care of us, give us to ourselves,
Right.
you know, and we'll do it.
Yeah, because many of us, you know, I have 4 degrees, you know, and I tell
Yes.
people, like, so a lot of us are very qualified.
What?
The thing is, you know, when we are not getting these positions, it's not because we're not applying for it, it's because, you know, you all are making sure that we don't get in. You
There-
know, like, and that's the biggest thing. So to me, I'm just always like, well, why don't we just create our own? You know what I mean? Because we have the same capabilities. Like, we don't have to just depend on what they can give us. We can just go do it ourselves. Like, it's a simple concept.
You have said such a mouthful there. Do you know how many blacks have that same trend of thought and says, you know what? Let's go get our own.
Yeah,
And the good other folks went broke because they got stuck
yeah.
with what they tried to give us, and we went and got our own.
Right.
I'll give you a good example. Alabama, I think it was 1964. Dr. King and the rest of the leaders said, it's Easter. Don't go in and buy those Easter clothes. Let them stay in the sun till the sun burns them and they rot. On Easter Sunday, men put on a white shirt and wear about tie and some dark trousers. Women put on a clean white dress or clean whatever dress and put clean clothes in the kids and come on to church. Leave them clothes in there. It changed some of the laws. They did the same thing with the buses. Oh, they're not gonna treat us right, don't ride the buses. The bus company went broke. Now, the point that you're saying is so true.
Mhm.
And for you to be so young to know the truth
Yeah,
is beautiful.
yeah,
Because once you get that in you, it's got to come out.
yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And the way it comes out will never be anything but positive. You know why?
Right.
You ain't scared.
Oh.
Now, I brought that up for a reason. In my generation, we were scared. Yeah, I sort of got what I'm talking about, but it's there.
Yeah,
We were scared. We were scared if we wasn't doing double, we wouldn't have a job. We were scared if they just didn't like us, we didn't have a job. We were scared we didn't sound like that.
yeah,
We don't want to be scared.
yeah.
I don't want y'all to be scared. I want y'all to hold your head up high. Not ducking down when they look up. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Those are games. And we don't have to play them.
Right.
Okay? What you're trying to do makes so much sense that other young people should be breaking down that door, trying to get in here to get more.
yeah.
Because they think they got something. They don't have nothing.
Nothing.
Because you don't have the respect. That's what, and you're not going to get that. You have to earn that.
Yeah,
I am a floor tech. Probably the best one in Cincinnati.
okay.
I know I've had the longest history of doing floors. I did my first floor stripped and waxed in 1967. How long have I been doing it?
That's 6, 7, 56 years.
Yeah. And when people say resume, you ever been in a music hall?
I have.
You ever seen that marble floor? That's my resume.
Really?
That's my work. Every floor in music hall for 14 years belonged to me.
Wow.
That's saying something. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's a historic building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Especially here.
yeah.
Oh, it's so historic now. we get off subject, but if you ever go there, it's haunted. Y'all know that.
Music Hall?
Ooh, wow. It's like one of the 100 most haunted places in America.
Really?
They do specials on it, TV specials. They wanted to interview me. I wouldn't do it because I worked there. And I think, but I think, man, it's trying to drum my business. No, they're there.
Yeah.
I used to do those floors, and I would send out an email. Listen to me. I would send out an email. I'm doing the floor on the 17th. No one's allowed in the building from 10 to 7 in the morning. That went out to everybody, and I don't care who you were, what you were. They cared more. It wasn't about me. They cared more about you messing up that floor because you could step on it by mistake. So they make sure everybody was out the building.
Okay.
That's when the people would come out. The spirits. Now, my wife is real religious, so she don't want to talk about it. But you can ask my grandchildren, Taj and De'Ara. My wife came down to see me one Saturday, and we were backstage. And Taj and De'Ara said, "Oh, Grandpa, can we go play with the kids?" My wife said, "Hey, the kids back there said, if they see children, I'm gonna go play with them. Leave it alone. I know you ain't supposed to see them, you're an adult. I've not seen them either. I've seen adults, but I've never seen the children. But Taj and De'Ara saw the kids. Check them out. And I looked down and thought they was playing with somebody.
Wow.
The land that Music Hall sits on, it used to be an asylum. So, 100 years ago, how well do you think they treated people in the asylum?
I mean, if it's any, you know
what they
asylums
did.
had stories. So,
Yeah, you know how they
strap
done
them
cut
down
into people's brains while they were still alive, see how they act,
right.
and how many
Tuskegee.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you have all those spirits rolling around down there. That's the land it sits on. Across the street, that beautiful park, Washington Park. You know, it was a cemetery, don't you?
Really?
In Music Hall, my office is on the second floor. They built a mesh fence where you couldn't see what they were doing behind over there, because they had to dig up the ground to make a layered garage underground. I looked out my window one day. You know how you look at a cowboy movie and they have those wooden coffins? That's what they were. Wooden coffins stacked up that they were moving out. I'm saying that not to scare anybody, but to say that area down there is haunted. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And they make money off what they call haunted tours. And if you ever go on a haunted tour, before they take you on the tour, they're going to show you a video. And in the video, there'll be somebody you know. I said somebody you know.
Oh, you gonna be on there?
Somebody
Got it. Yeah.
I didn't know that sat on an asylum though, because again, that healthcare and I guess it's research and whatnot that came a long way. But the way they treated people in asylums back in the day was,
Of course.
horrific, because most of those sites are, have similar stories where they say that they haunted and because the spirits can't rest for the way that they were treated and died.
Longview, y'all probably know this Pauline Lewis Center.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, me either.
Okay. It was a behavioral, I want to say it right. We called it the crazy house, but no, you can't say that no more.
Behavioral unit, so to speak.
Yeah.
Out there on Paddock Road.
Okay. Where Summit is?
Right there, right there.
Okay.
Okay.
That would be the Pauline Lewis Center.
Okay.
They just changed the name from,
Okay.
And it was a dangerous place to drive because the patients could get loose and walk up and down the street. And a lot of them would try to commit suicide by jumping in front of your car.
Oh. Did you work at Summit?
I worked for the Jewish Community Center. I did Meals on Wheels. I used to pick up the elderly and take them to the center for dinner, and I would drop off those who couldn't get out. I had been warned about the patients. I was coming up Redden Road. almost to Seymour. I saw this man behind a pole. I said, oh, he's going to jump out in front of me. I shifted down. After I turned around my head, he heard me shifting down and acted like he was lighting a cigarette. I said, oh, he's lighting a cigarette. And I shifted back up, jumped out in front of me, and I ran straight over him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And that's over by the behavioral center, you said?
Yeah. But they had told us, you know, and we knew to look out for him because I used to go out there with a friend of mine. He was a DJ. He would do dances for him. And it would be okay until the patients would get a little rowdy. And I would see those nurses walk up to him and just act like they hug him and hit him with Thorazine until the patient went down. I seen that.
That's wrong, because then that creates a situation where you don't trust, you know, human interaction. Because if you go for a hug and end up getting a shot, like
Right.
you know that.
Now, when it comes to that place, I maybe shouldn't say this because I can't prove it, but it was said that if you got somebody out there and committed them, you got $75.
So they was getting paid to take in patients, or it was said that they were getting paid to take in patients.
Yeah.
You know, the same. It's not much changed in that sense, because, like, you know, they had the big scandal where the doctors was getting paid to push OxyContin and the codones.
Yeah.
You know, which is what kind of spurred the opioid epidemic,
Right.
because they was getting paid per script.
Yeah.
You know, the pharma bros and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know, that whole thing. So that's not much different from how it is
No.
today.
It's not, and the thing is being on the floors, like, you know, we communicate a lot with the patients, and I've had so many patients talk to me about not even trusting the hospital or why they don't come to the hospital, and I'm like, you know, when I talk to people, I'm like, but imagine if you could go to the hospital and you could trust the people, then what? You know what I mean? Like, we need safe spaces and we don't. I'm like, even as a staff member, I don't feel safe with being here because, you know, we deal with some of those things from the people who are over us.
Yeah.
You know, so not only do we deal with that, but then we also deal with the patients who don't look like us, who don't really want us taking care of them. It's just so much, it's just.
In any situation for us, when somebody on the other end resembles us, 40% of frustration is,
Yeah. You know what, speaking of that, because I really got to touch on this. A lot of times when I'm working, or if I get like transferred to a unit, you know, a lot of us, it's the first thing we look for is we look for somebody that looks like us.
Sure.
And on the moments, on the times where we have had like, don't have an all black staff, because we gonna rock the floor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because we know we got it. You know what I mean? And it feels safe that day.
Now you understand about that black nursing home I worked in?
Oh, yeah.
See, we rocked the boat.
Yeah, oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Because we know our jobs.
The only drawback that I had to that nursing home, right next door to the damn cemetery. That was the only drawback.
Yeah.
You get up and look at the last stop.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah. But you know what? But if you really think about it, I would take that over being somewhere where I don't feel comfortable all day.
and
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, I'm gonna tell you what. I wanted to be a part of that because we were the cleaning staff. Okay.
Right.
But our supervisor every year would have a cookout that we did. We go in and take over the kitchen, dining room, and feed them people.
Yeah.
Ribs, turkey and dressing, whatever. We just asked, what do you want to have? And we would get in there and fix all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a beautiful
I'm
thing.
breaking that up because I'm one cook.
I know that's right.
Oh, I know those ribs.
Yeah, you are.
Listen, I used to work. I first started working cooking in a country club. Okay, I met a lot of people. I think one of the most famous people I met in the country club would have been O.J. Simpson. But see, this was when he was in his heyday. Go Juicy. I had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
But this goes along with what we're talking about. Some rich people had brought him there showing him off.
Yeah.
The only blacks there was O.J. Simpson, me, and the dishwasher. So it was a cookout. And I was one of them show-off cooks. I had the hat and scarf and all that shit to match, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm out there flipping ribs, and this brother, one of those, starts talking to me. And I'm talking to him, yeah, what's on? And so I go back in the kitchen, and all the white folks, Larry, you know Juice? What the hell are y'all talking about?
Right.
You were just talking to O.J. Simpson. I said, I heard him. Where at? You were just talking? Oh, excuse me, you O.J. Simpson? Oh, damn, man. You ain't that big, is you? Because he wasn't.
Yeah.
So, like, he saw me, somebody looked like him, and he's famous, you know,
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
And he grabs it like, let me go over here.
Because you were
Right.
comfort.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
you were comfort.
I didn't tell the story, just say, I know over there. I sit for them like,
Because I think, you know, that's a common thing too, because we do it when we out of our element or in a new spot, like, oh, we here.
yeah.
Yeah.
We here.
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool, we can
You
kind
feel
of
safe
So, yeah, like
a
you-
little bit.
It's almost like you walk into a situation where you outnumbered and you start looking for allies that, you know, in case this goes wrong, you know.
Well, this
Safe
place,
havens here.
this place I'm working now, it's Trump country.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have no problem with that.
Right.
Okay? Because Trump doesn't influence my life.
Right.
Trump didn't influence my life when he was president. Because I was not important to him. See, not only was it not important for him to do anything for, I wasn't important for him to do anything to.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the difference in us and them is, like I had to tell this one guy, I said, your problem is for 8 years, Mr. Obama was not your president. I said, but for them 4 years, I didn't like it, but Mr. Trump was mine. I said, the reason being, I'm an American and he's the president, so what the hell? Can't get out of this one.
Yeah.
I said, but y'all can't see it like that.
Right.
Y'all hate him. To this day, you still got to bring Obama's name up,
Right.
but never for nothing good.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Yeah.
I said, if he had been accused of half these things, not
Yeah.
only would he have not been president, yeah, I took him out and shot him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just, for the record, he's always gonna be my president. For the record,
Thank you. And that's good enough for me.
Barack
Yeah.
Obama is gonna cut the ribbon
Mhm.
to culture healthcare. He
Yeah.
will forever be
Well,
my president.
Okay, back to healthcare.
Yeah.
Do you know why they hated him so much?
Was out it
Obamacare?
The Obamacare.
Not just because of Obamacare. This one I got to say. Name me another president that made sure
His
every
name?
every American had health care. Name one president. Ain't one.
Yeah.
Ain't one.
Because then
Now that see, when his legacy goes down, it'll say the only president that made sure every American had health care.
or at least made it a law that every American should have access to it.
Right.
If you didn't go get it, that's on you.
Right.
If you didn't go get none, it's on you. Just like Obama phone. They had them, you didn't want one, you didn't go get one.
Right.
They didn't want you to get one.
That's true. That's
Okay.
true.
So that healthcare had a lot to do with them hating him.
Yeah.
Now, do you people know how he got the name Obamacare?
The Republicans did it to make sure that the
They was
other
making
people-
fun of it.
Yeah.
What's he gonna call it? Obamacare? Then they named it Obamacare. Oh shit.
Yeah.
He actually gonna have the name on it, so we'll know what president it was.
See, I thought
Yeah.
that was a thing that they did to kind of make it unpalatable to other Republicans. It was something like, it's Obamacare because since you don't like the guy, you ain't gonna like nothing that he.
Well, the
they
Republicans
got
is the
his
one who
name
came
on.
up with the name
I
Obamacare.
know, that's what I'm saying.
Obamacare.
Yeah.
And then it got to be that, like, oh shit.
And see, what was crazy about that was, when the Republicans, when he was in office, was trying to repeal it, you know, they wanted to keep it for the Senate and the House of Representatives. Like, if you was a elected official, they wanted to keep it, but they didn't want the American people to have it.
Right.
You know, and that speaks to how the insurance and all of that works to this day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's made to be a business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's first and foremost, it's all about the profit margins for most insurance companies, which is why you got about 3 big ones that monopolize the whole system, and they can run, you know, whether they say they in cahoots or not, as far as the pricing goes. Of course, you can't say it, but it's like the unspoken truth.
You know what you say.
You know,
I told you I ain't Stevie Wonder. No racial.
Right.
I can't see.
It's like if it's only 3 of
I even
us,
got some
you know,
glasses.
right? If it's only 3 of us, y'all raise y'all's, we're gonna raise ours, and then y'all could be the low band for this month or this year, you know, and then we'll
flip it over,
and it's
everybody
steadily
gets
rising.
Everybody gets turned.
Right.
Everybody
Everybody gets turned at the top.
Everybody gets turned.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Trump, I call him Donald Duck because he tries to duck his ass out of everything. But anyway, that's him. When I define him, the definition of him, I hear people say all kind of things about him, but I never hear nobody say the one thing that covers what he is. Donald Trump is the most dangerous man in the world. That's it. Here's why I say that. Anytime you can go out and take people with no minds and make them your mind, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
Because the ones who are really acting a fool about Mr. Trump are your very uneducated, them kind of folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's on election here. Because you heard him say it.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, why do they love him so much? When he got first elected.
Because he said the quiet part out loud.
He did what?
He said the quiet part out loud.
No, not that. He came out and said, before his speech started, folks, I know I shouldn't say this. He said it twice. I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it. I'm a nationalist. What's a nationalist?
That's like a dog whistle code word for, you know, white supremacy.
Right. White nationalist. Now he said he's a nationalist. What race is he? What race is he?
Right.
So he's a white nationalist. That very next week, prominent blacks got bomb threats. Do y'all remember that?
Mm-hmm.
But he had just said it a week before.
He gave him the okay.
Duh.
Yeah.
And so you can't be a white nationalist or none of them other damn fools if you smart. You gotta be ignorant, be like that. That's what's making tick.
That's what makes it tick.
By God. Shit.
Well, see, and that's a lot of old grievances. Like, you know, it's almost like because Obama did, you know, was so impeccable and whatnot, and really articulate and
there was nothing they could say against
they
him.
had to go for tan suits and stuff just to have something against him. And Obamacare, which, you know, what's crazy about that is that the people that they try that want to repeal it can't even get their constituents to say, well, yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's almost like the Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
You know, they finding out that, you know, women want the choice to be able to decide, you know, whether they want to keep a pregnancy full term or just don't want the same restrictions. Because I don't understand how you can have a room full of men tell women, you know, that they can't do something with their bodies if they've been in, you know, abusive situations or in a healthcare situation.
When I was a kid, they called them back alley abortions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the term.
Yeah, me too.
With a hanger.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a kid and I knew about that. I don't want my children to know nothing, hear nothing like that.
Right.
Anything that cool.
They coming back though. They got women that have to go across the border to Mexico to get abortions. Like we was talking about a story where a lady drove 3,000 miles in an RV to have her baby because she didn't feel safe going
To the hospital.
to the one in her, local area. And that's crazy because, like I said, that's a black woman. And we had the highest mortality rates in infants.
Absolutely.
We had the highest mortality rates in women in childbirth. We have the highest abortions per capita, too.
Speaking of highest, did my wife say anything to you guys about the hospital that took care of TB, tuberculosis?
Yeah. Well,
What did she say?
she did explain to me how they would put us,
Yeah.
like we would be the ones to go in
Mhm.
and have to take care of the TB, so it was almost like COVID. That's
Right.
what she was.
Like a tuberculosis, like a
It was,
situation.
yeah, but it was tuberculosis.
Mhm.
And the thing of it is, just about every nurse in there ended up with a spot
Mm.
on their lungs. Okay? And it was mostly black people sent to that unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? Y'all all go in there and die together.
Right. That's like Tuskegee when
Yeah.
they gave them placebos and syphilis.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just to experiment on us, and that's why
Well,
I'm saying.
see, that scares people, right? That's why they don't trust.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Because they could have you in an experiment you not know.
Don't
Yeah.
know it, right?
And that's, you know what?
shots.
Yep. Because the thing about it is so with me, I tell all my patients, they get the Brittany experience because I make sure I'm a whole experience because nobody wants to be in the hospital.
Right.
But one of the biggest things with us is our lack of education. Coming into the hospital and just saying, oh, well, the doctor said, but it's like, but you have to look out for your own self. You have to do your own research because you know your body better than somebody else.
Right.
So you're coming in here and you're depending simply on this, and I find myself educating so much. Like, I gotta teach you about these things because you can't leave here
Right.
and say, oh, well, it's normally like that. Well, I have to explain to you why this is not normal and
Right.
why you have to take this serious.
Thank
You know what I mean? And it's when I tell you, and I know it's mostly us, so I have to make sure that I give that extra education to say, you need to make sure that you ask these questions.
Right.
You know what I mean? You need to make sure that before you leave, you know what I mean? This is a test that you want to take. This is what these numbers actually mean. Because this will kill you when you walk out the door.
And tell them, and don't let me come to find you to explain this to you.
Right.
And they know. That's why I'm like, they really ask. I'm like, but you know what? But I because I have to, because I can't let you leave here
Right.
this uneducated about your own self.
Prime
And how
example.
many times does that happen?
Every shift I
No,
work.
not you.
Oh, I'm like
No,
every
I
shift.
mean, out there with them people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
Read it, they'll tell you what you learned, you shouldn't get out of here.
Yeah, but see that's another thing with the patients. It's like you rush them.
Yeah.
You make them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't take the time. That's what I'm like. But for me, I'm gonna stand here and spend this extra 20, 30 minutes. We're gonna talk about it. You know what I mean? We're gonna talk about this because when you leave from here, you're gonna make sure that you're gonna leave and you need to look like this. Right? Homeostasis for your life needs to look like this before you leave from
Yeah,
here.
that's Heard a Man.
Yeah.
Right.
How much do y'all know about the Dr. King celebration here in Cincinnati?
When?
Do y'all remember, on Dr. King Day, do y'all remember when the breakfast used to be held in Music Hall? Where they would march from Fountain Square to breakfast in Music Hall. Then they would go next door for the program. Nobody had to work Dr. King Day but my janitorial staff, us blacks.
Okay.
So in a union meeting, well, before the union meeting, there were two white folks down there in charge of the morning. And they said, yeah, that's hurl 'em in and hurl 'em out of here. And I heard that
Wow.
and I lost it. But I smiled and walked on.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know I was a union steward. So union time came up. I said, I have a grievance. She said, what's your grievance? I said, Dr. Martin Luther King's Day. Everybody's off from Music Hall except us. So what do you mean us? I said, blacks. I said, everybody in my apartment is black, so blacks.
Right.
And I said, I know why we gotta be here, because we gotta serve the breakfast. But we give you your birthday off in place of it. I said, I speak for my whole staff. We don't want a birthday, we want Dr. King Day.
Right.
So I'm saying that to say this. They have the breakfast down at the Underground Railroad now.
Yeah.
And it's because of me. And equality.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah. See, I'm a union. I'm a very hard union. Okay. Because I found out that's a trick y'all wrote that y'all got to abide by. All I got to do is learn the trick.
Right.
And it worked so many times.
Yeah.
At music hall, they did something they didn't like. I say, y'all don't want my finger in there. Whenever I did this, that meant let's walk. And I would tell them all the time, y'all don't want this finger going.
Yeah.
In the middle of y'all little concert tonight, we will walk out of here.
Yeah.
What do you want? I thought you would.
Yeah.
I kind of thought you would.
But see, you know, we don't get treated as assets. You
Mhm.
know, for them in their minds, it's like, you know, you got to come in, you got to pay your bills.
Yeah.
So you come in, you shut up, you don't complain about nothing, and you know, you keep it moving.
Stay in your place.
Stay in your place.
Right.
But my thing is I am the asset because without me, you couldn't be where you are.
Well, I got answer for staying in my place. I sold my place to a white man.
You said
And
you
give
sold
that
it to him?
I sold my place to a white man.
Yeah.
That's how good it was.
Right.
I got a better place now, but I sold mine to a white man. And look, I'm crazy. So you gotta learn how to shop them. White folks look at me and say, "How you doing today, Larry?" Oh, I'm just as happy as though I had good sense. And kind of, y'all got to laugh at me, so don't laugh at those people.
Well, you had to look at it like that, though, like, because I don't have good sense.
I'm
Like,
just
so how you doing?
I'm just as happy as though I had good sense.
They gonna get you up out of there. But see, we was having a conversation a couple days ago about having to, you know, toe the line between approachability and still maintaining your,
Yes.
you know, yourself.
Mhm.
You know, because a lot of times because we already are viewed as being aggressive or
Yes.
being, you know,
Yes.
intimidating,
Mhm.
you know, that we have to kind of make ourselves palatable for the white folks or the others around us, you know, and how that's you know, it's a weight on the mind.
Speaking of that, and you probably can relate to this because you speak very well. I worked at this shoe repair shop. I got extra money for cleaning it up. This particular weekend, I waited till Sunday to go in and clean it up. And they were having Oktoberfest. And this lady called, and I answered the phone. She said, "Oh, I'm so glad you're open." I said, "Ma'am, I'm not open." I said, "I'm just down here cleaning up." She says, "But sir, I'm not far away from your shop. I have a boot that I'm wearing and it's got to be repaired." And I said, "Lady, if you can get here in 15 minutes, I'll take a look at the boot." So I opened the door. I know she's doing like this. I said, "What's the problem?" She said, "Who's here with you?" I said, "Nobody." She said, "I thought you were a white person." I said, "Why would you think that?" She said, "On the phone you sound white."
See,
I said, "How do white people sound?"
right.
She said, "Like you." I came up to my wife and said, "Honey, I had an experience today. I've been accused of being white." She said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Lady said, on the phone I was white." I said, "Because I didn't give you a bunch of slang and
Right.
I said,
Because that was expected.
I said, all black people don't talk like that. I said, all people don't walk like that.
Yeah.
I say, some of us have our own way of communicating and living. And it ain't what you see on TV.
Right.
See, they put that on TV, Good Times and all the rest of them show where they're acting a damn fool, so y'all think we're all like that.
Right.
I said, now, we don't think all white folks is Archie Bunker,
Right.
Right.
and he up there
Yeah.
clowning and acting a damn fool. I said, you know what? Y'all hate Archie Bunker because y'all showed the world just how ignorant y'all can be.
Right. And you know somebody like him.
Yeah, duh.
Yeah.
You know an Archie Bunker in your life.
They nobody but Edgar down the street.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and you know they tried Obama like that too. Said he talks white because he speaks articulately.
Yeah.
And it's like articulation is not a national thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not an ethnic thing. Rather,
No, it's not.
that's a personal choice or an
You
educational choice.
You either know how to speak
Right.
or you don't.
Right.
Okay. One word, no, not one word. One phrase I hate. Huh? What the hell is huh? I didn't understand it as a little fella. I don't understand it as an old fart. Huh?
I don't know.
Ain't that a pig son? Huh? Some kind of animal.
We was having that.
It don't sound intelligent. Huh?
Well, no, but
Well, we're expected not to be intelligent.
Oh well. They're in for a shock.
Yeah.
right.
In for a surprise.
And that's one of the things that I was having a conversation with one of our other guests about, is that just based off of how I look a lot of the times,
Yeah.
tall with dreads and whatnot, that I'm assumed unintelligent
Yeah.
until I speak.
Well-
and then once I speak, it's like, oh, this guy
Okay,
is
okay.
not whatever I thought he
Okay,
was.
first, you're unintelligent, you don't work, and you smoke weed.
Right.
You might.
That's,
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on. If you got any money, you sold some of your weed.
Yeah.
Right.
And the good thing about y'all, see, y'all smoke so much weed that the smell and the fumes get in your hair, and run out, smoke that.
Right. That's what they assume anyway.
I know, because I heard them say it.
Have you ever been to a black doctor? Like had a black primary care physician?
No.
Or seen one? Because
No.
we've had conversations with people who are like in the market and trying to find
No.
black care,
No.
primary care
I've
physicians.
never had a, no.
I've had so many conversations with people who are like, they're trying to have, just because you want to feel safe for going to your doctor.
Right.
So they're either
Comfortable.
not there, comfortable. They're either not there, not accepting the appointments. But it's like, but we're not accessible
Right.
to be able to take care of.
The closest thing to a black doctor is my foot doctor. He's from over the Middle East, and his name is Muhammad Shadiq. If you saw him, you would expect for him to sound like the people down the marathon.
Okay.
Right.
But here's how he treats me. He comes into the office. My brother. My wife would be like, I said, that's what we do. And so last month I had surgery on my camel toe. And so that's what it's called.
Okay.
I ain't making it up. That's the medical term for it.
Which toe?
These two.
So
What
okay.
happens is but because of the way I walk, they grow and they aim down. And what'll happen is they'll rub and get a callus on them, bad blood turn into what it got to about me being diabetic, they have to take him. So he broke the knuckle and whatever he needed to do. That's what I'm wearing this boot. Anyway, he walks in the surgery operating room, well, the room where they take him to operating room. My brother. I gave it back to him. He said, what can I do for you today? Look, man, give me some Michael Jackson and let's get this over with.
what is Michael Jackson?
That drill he took every night to...
Mr. Brown.
What?
You know what? You better be. You lucky they can't cancel you because you. Not the Michael Jackson. That killed him.
Yeah, but if you had done it right.
You can't say that. And he got it from a doctor too.
I got it from a doctor. Which point?
Well,
You got a point in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna wait.
black doctor killed him. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well. Well, now wait a minute. No.
He was black, wasn't
No.
he? He gave him the medicine, right?
No, black people do not do like that.
Well,
He is from the other country.
all right, well.
I'm not Afro-American, I'm American. Okay?
I'm just saying.
I'll be saying to you.
I cannot.
Now, all I need is for you to give me some Michael Jackson and cut the dope. Is that so hot?
Okay.
Okay, cut the dope.
So, but you like him?
I
You
love
know,
And he left. He's the closest thing to a black doctor because of his skin color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, he makes you feel, that's the thing though. I think if the doctors that we did have,
Mm-hmm.
if they made their patients feel like that, then it would be more of a trusting environment. But because
Yeah.
personally they don't care about us like that, you know,
But
we
this-
don't get that kind of treatment.
But this guy cared.
But you know it.
And that's
Now,
that's
You
the
know
difference.
We asked him, how did he get like that?
Mhm.
He said, what do you mean? I said, how did you get to be black? He said, oh, when I first come to this country, my father had a store in Chicago. And it was in the hood of Chicago. And that's where I learned. I said, okay, makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, especially in Chicago.
Mhm.
But the thing is though, is they took the time to get to learn.
Yeah, and he took the time, as my wife said, and I take her word, I would take it from you too, because y'all are nurses. She said, what makes him such a fine doctor, he doesn't only doctor, he teaches.
Yeah.
And he sat there every time I visited him, and okay, I got a callus on under my foot. He would say, Larry, let me show you something. Here's what you got to do. He even named it. Here's what you got to do with badass. Now, badass is going to hurt you. So, what you want to do is put this salve on it and hold it in the water and soak it. And he taught me what to do until you get back to me.
Yeah.
Okay. He's the type of doctor that if he said it, don't worry about it.
Right.
Take it to the back.
Cause he ain't just a wanderer. No, he knows.
Yeah.
Right.
Like his nurses, when I went back for my checkup, it's been twice. My nurse said we gotta wait cause he doesn't allow nobody to take his bandages off.
Mm.
You know doctors like that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I do.
No, he got to take it off. He put it on. He'll take it off.
But I will say that I know more of them that want the nurse to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I call them lazy asses, dictators.
And they don't want you to say anything. So
Yeah.
So one of my biggest things in nursing is when it comes to like if you were to have a surgery, right? There's a consent form that needs to be signed, and I will go back and forth with the nurses because I've always been taught in nursing school that the consent form is the doctor's responsibility.
Yeah.
You have to explain to the
Yeah.
patient what you're gonna do, what
Right.
the risks are.
Because the nurse ain't doing it.
Every nurse that I have talked to will sign the consent form because the doctor tells them to, and it will always be a thing because I'm like, I'm not signing my name on that.
Yeah.
I don't know that the patient I don't even know that you explained it.
Yeah.
There's one. I don't know that the patient understands what the risk, what the benefits, anything.
Yeah.
And if the doctor is gonna go in there, take the form in there with you when you're explaining to the patient that they understand.
Right.
But so many of the nurses will be like, well, Dr. such and such said such and such, and I'm like, and that doctor can go back in there
Yeah.
with that form and sign it. If I wasn't there for the conversation, why am I putting my name on? That's a legal document.
Thank
You know what I mean? And we will go back and forth, and I'm saying, you know what? You nurse how you nurse, but I'm gonna nurse how I nurse. You know what I mean? Like my license means something to me,
Thank
and
you.
making sure that the patient is
You
actually
Didn't
educated.
nobody hand
means
you that
something.
license? You earned that.
Right.
But and it took you a while to earn it, but it can be gone so fast.
So
Right.
just like that. You know what I mean?
Especially you being the color you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, and that comfortability factor and that education, it also plays into like, we had a situation recently where one of my aunts had to go to the house. She was having a high blood pressure issue. And she called the talk to Britt and Britt like, well, go to the hospital and you say this. Because if you say it like this,
Yeah.
they'll run the right test.
Right.
If you just go in and say, well, I'm having high blood pressure, they're going to send you some aspirin and send you out the door.
Right.
You but if you use the right buzzwords, keywords, and jargon, they'll run the right test. And lo and behold, they had to keep her.
Right.
She needed a couple.
And she's very, very very spiritual. Like, but I don't feel comfortable. I said to you, you're just a number. You mean something to me.
Yeah.
And because I know what it is that you need to say for them to run the right
Right.
test, and you need to be asking about these numbers because I want to know what this, and they
Right.
need to do X, Y, Z. I'm not telling you that to just be telling you that. I'm telling you because I've seen.
You are making a point that is very dear to me because I used to dabble in advertising, and I would trick people with this question. If I'm advertising a hamburger made with pure ground beef, what did I just tell you?
Making the hamburger with pure ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
What's pure ground beef?
That's not the, no. What kind of meat is the hamburger? Because you're putting pure ground beef with it. I said my burgers are made with,
Oh,
not
yeah.
made of.
Mm.
Like you said, I said that because you said it's the way you told your aunt to say something.
Yeah.
I just said that because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
that's a great point.
but the thing is it's important because, you know, they know so many people where you will come in and say, you know what, my blood pressure been we're gonna run a test,
Yeah.
we're gonna check everything.
Yeah.
But for you, I had to explain it to her. I'm like, you know, it's like taking your car to a car dealer, right? They understand that all these other things are wrong, but because you came for this one thing, we're gonna talk about this one thing. And for me, it's like I want you to be healthy, like, because you can walk out of here and die all because they didn't take your care serious enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? It means something, and that's how I am with all the patients that I take care of. Like, you're my family.
But see, when you made that statement about that, that made me think of the statement, you know, because you explain, you know, and see, people, like, I use that ground beef thing is because people look like, what's the trick? It is no trick.
Right.
Listen what I said.
Right.
I said, our hamburgers are made with pure ground beef.
Right.
And it says made of.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
what else is in it?
Right.
Put it that way.
Is it snake butt
Yeah.
with some
But
ground
people,
beef?
but that's the thing. So many people won't ask that question. They like, "Oh, this made with," you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
you just keep
So
rolling with
there's
it.
a nuance that
Yeah.
gets lost in that conversation
Exactly.
and allows you to slide, you know, loopholes and human teeth in it.
But when people ask, I'm gonna get sharp with this one. If YES spells yes, what does EYES spell?
Yes.
Yes, eyes.
You got it.
I said yes.
Yeah, most people try to say something
You know, it's like-
ESC or eyes,
Right.
Yeah.
but nobody gets that.
Yeah.
You're the first
Yeah.
person.
You can always count on him again.
Now I'm still mulling
You-
over that other one because I can't believe I missed it. Like,
Yeah. You can always count on him again.
I like little teasers like that. but-
Okay, I got one that will affect everybody because I don't know nobody who doesn't use this phrase. At the end of the day, there's only one answer, and it's one word.
Night.
That's it.
See what I'm saying?
That's it. At the end of the day, night. And when I said that, they all looked at me like, I said, oh, and I can fight too, okay? So all that, rolling and swelling up, I can fight.
Well, I need you to help fight this healthcare system with me.
No problem. Go over there and move some furniture around.
You know,
See, when you move furniture around, that's a hell of a fight.
yeah.
If you say one of you heard, they fighting in there.
Yeah, but that's my, like, this is my biggest
I know.
why. It's because of so many reasons. And what the thing for me is, I've only been in this healthcare system. I'm not even that old.
I know.
But for the people who are so much older than me, I'm like, I don't even understand how y'all living through this, because like, you expect me to go the rest of my life dealing with this racism, and then I gotta come here and I use my insurance and I pay my money for you to be able to treat me how that don't even make sense to me in my mind.
It never did.
And then I gotta work for you.
Yeah.
So I lose time with my family. I've gotten all this debt for all this education that I have, so that you benefit from my education and get to treat me any
and
kind of
why
way.
I get the lowest position on the staff.
Yeah. And then you see some people, it's like, oh, I know you're here because of somebody you know.
Yeah.
Because I know it's not because you're smart.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I know because I'm looking at you, telling you, like, this is why that doesn't work. This is why you should. And once
But how are
again,
you gonna tell me that and you ain't nothing but a glorified nurse aide?
Right.
I won't do that, because my thing is
No, them calling you one.
oh, me, because I'm just a nurse's aide.
I'm gonna tell you why.
No, Mr. Brown.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I say that.
Don't let them hear that I have a master's degree.
Women. When I first met my wife and took her around my family, somebody to think that's a nurse. Everybody knows a nurse. I heard him one day, and I took him over to the job. I said, go in and ask for money. They went in and saw she was the charge nurse.
Mm.
I said, now what kind of age y'all gonna talk about now?
Right.
Oh, you heard? Oh, yeah, I heard.
Yeah.
I said, y'all my family, I know y'all. Tell me the way y'all was looking at her. Yeah. I know that look. You, each other.
You know what? So here's the thing with that, because I was just recently talking to somebody about that. So I was at a place. Yeah, I was at a place for 15 years, and I kind of moved my way up. Now with my degrees, I went to school for business. So I never actually working in healthcare wasn't my thing.
Wasn't the plan.
No, but because I told God that that's something that I wouldn't do, I developed a passion to do it. So moving through, I would work with people when I moved my way up, and I became an aide. I did that for 6 years, but once I became a nurse, that for so many different people was like, you can't tell me what to do, because I've been a charge nurse too, and the way that they would treat how I would do assignments, and I would always try to make sure, because it's like I've been where you are before, so I do understand. So I'm not the person who would let it get to my head, but it was just the fact that you telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was the thing. So you didn't want to respect my position. Even aides that I used to work with, we used to be okay until I simply asked you, hey, can you, take this pop? I'm checking and changing patients the same way. And I don't broadcast it. I don't tell you. You would know that I'm doing the job because you're not the one that's going in there doing it. But if I ask something as simple as, hey, can you just make sure this patient gets a pop, or can you just make sure that you take the trays out of the room? Little simple stuff, because I used to do it. If I'm asking you, people that work with me, if I'm asking you, it's because I need it, not because I'm abusing. I understand we got nurses that are like that too. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the people that work with me know that I'm not that person. I will do it, and if I can't do it, I'm needing your help. Yeah. But as far as that, that charge nurse, I can just remember so many times being in that position and it not being respected because of who I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, you can feel it and but you gotta act professional. You still gotta be professional. Yeah. Because once it's all said and done, they're gonna come to me and have something to say to me. They're gonna find a reason to say something to me, even though I'm not the person that's in the wrong.
Right. The more you talk, the more I can think back. Do you know that we didn't like Cassius Clay? Black people did not like him. Did you know that?
No.
He was embarrassing. He made the Negro look bad. Look at him out there acting a fool. Because the white folks told us that was the wrong way to act. Right. They didn't respect him. And when he changed his name to Muhammad Ali, we was really through with him. Why? Because we didn't like Muslims. Honorable Elijah Muhammad had turned us so against the Muslim religion. They even called themselves Black Muslim. There's no such thing as a Black Muslim. But we didn't know that. We just knew that magazine. Mm-hmm. We began to respect Muhammad Ali because he had to. When Muhammad Ali would say, come on down to the arena and you can see, because I'm going to knock his ass out in 3. They're ready to knock him out. Go on in, but don't close the door, because he's going to hit the floor in 4. He would always predict the fight and do it in that round. He the greatest, like he said. Yeah. Yeah. And see, the people didn't give him the name the greatest. He gave himself that name. Yeah. I am the, and he was.
But you know what? That's the thing so this is the one thing that I can say, if I want anybody to know something about me, I've always known who I was, and I've never needed validation from anywhere to define who I am. Mm-hmm. I always felt different. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, I always felt different, and I felt chosen in some kind of way, in a way I just didn't really understand. I just knew that I was different, and when certain situations kind of happened in my recent experience with racial discrimination, when that happened, it's almost like God kind of gave me a view of my life from back then to up now, to here now, and it's this is what I want you to do. Mm-hmm. Because you're not afraid to speak up, this is what I need for you to do, because what you're gonna do is gonna benefit the world. It's gonna benefit everybody. You know what I mean? I don't want my kids to have to go through 10 plus years of college, not the 12
Yeah.
years not the years that I had to go through school
Right.
and get my
Right,
diploma.
yeah. But
But the 10 plus years of school only to be treated the way that you being treated, like I earned everything. Nothing was handed to me.
see,
Nothing was given. So I won't allow you to come in and try to make me feel like this grand thing that I did is oh so small, because now
Yeah.
I gotta show you how grand I really am.
yeah,
She be crusading, Mr. Brown.
I can tell.
She go on crusades.
and I can tell.
It's like a rage against the system with her. If
And ain't nothing wrong with
if
that.
it's unjust and it it affects her viscerally, like they gonna feel it.
You gonna have to, because you don't have a problem with me feeling yours.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially because I've done nothing to deserve it.
Mhm.
You know, and I understand, like, with my own personal personality, for some people, it's just too big. But I've
Yeah.
always told my husband from the beginning, I got enough love for me for everybody that don't.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay, this is just my person, but I got enough love for you to make sure that this system changed for you and me both.
Lady, I can see and feel your passion about having a purpose.
Yeah.
I was raised in foster homes. My mother gave me away at 2 years old. I don't think I've seen my mother for maybe 4 years. And then I didn't see her no more till I was maybe 14, 15. But I was glad to be foster care. My mama had raised me up. Y'all wouldn't know me.
Right.
I'd be some heathen like my brother.
Yeah.
Been in the penitentiary 3-4 times. Anyway, that's not my point. My point is how the system was back then. I can remember first days of school. You'd have to stand up, say your name. Teacher say, mother's name, I don't know. Class, father's name, I don't know. How do you think that made me feel? Okay. I was not born Larry Brown. My name was Larry Cannon. When I was 12 years old, I do believe it was, I was going to Cutters Junior High School downtown on Sycamore. A counselor called me into the office and said, Larry, from this day forward, your name is not Cannon. You will now be Larry Brown. I said, okay, and walked out. He took my voice. My name ain't Cannon, they changed my name to Larry Brown. And there was nothing said about it. No explanation, no why. I'm in a foster home, and finally they got them to understand my name was not Cannon, it was Brown. And no explanation, no. To this day, I have no idea. Other than that was my mother's maiden name. But who was this Cannon? Because my daddy's name was Lattimore.
You know what? Like, even just listening to that, it's the experiences that we have that shape us. You know, and I want to say, like, for one, I want to give a shout out to my mom, because it was only my mom.
Okay.
But even just being my mom, she had made my life so grand to the point where I didn't feel like I was missing anything, not having a father around. You know, and she was the type of person to say, you know, you make sure that you love him, because without him you couldn't be here. But I do understand that, you know, God protects us from so many things, which is why I don't really have a question as to why he wasn't there, because had he been there, I wouldn't be sitting here at the Cultured Experience. You know, one little thing about your life being different changes everything about your life. So I will say that I am grateful for that. But because my mom, being a single parent, poured so much love, so much confidence into me, when I tell you I got enough for the world, they just don't even know what's coming.
What makes me luckier than most people on this earth? I got to have 3 moms.
Yeah.
And they were all loving.
Yes.
They were all teaching.
Yeah.
They were all building me.
Yeah.
And at a very young age, I would realize I'm alone. Yeah, I got a foster mother, but I'm alone. I don't have no family. I'm going to have to do for me. then I thought, if when I grow up, I can do anything for any child, that's my calling. And if you ever notice, I love the babies and the babies love me.
Yeah.
Because they can do whatever the hell they want to on my watch. And they know that.
Yeah.
You ask my wife about, especially some little nieces and all granddaughters, she used to just look at me and just, yeah, I asked you to take the trash out. Can't do that. But you can walk water for them little gals.
So what I want to do is I want to ask you this one question, because I want the world to understand your answer to this why question.
Okay.
Why do you think we need culture health care?
Number one is we don't have it. That's the first reason we need it. Okay? The other reason is what's wrong with you is bad enough. Your fear of what's going to be treatment worsens. Okay, I feel bad, I need the hospital. But they don't do nothing. They just gonna give me some glorified aspirin and send me home. And that's where we sit. I went to Good Sam just last week because my doctor had, whatever reason, he couldn't see me. So I called back and said, my doctor's not in, but I've had this bandage on for over 30 days and I don't feel comfortable because the stitches under there.
Mm-hmm.
So they had me come in. So no, we went over there. And when we got there, there was a nurse that would have been you. Okay? When we first got in, I had to sign in, and I told her what the problem was. She smiled and wrote it down. I said, go have a seat, they'll call you. My wife was standing where she could hear. She said, oh no, this makes no sense. Stitches in his feet over 30 days? No, they're gonna do it. My wife had tried to calm her down. And it reminded me so much of you.
Yeah.
I said, because she been acting like that.
Yeah. Because you got to.
But the nurse wouldn't let me see that
Right.
concern.
Right.
Okay? But I heard it.
Right.
She couldn't hold it back. Oh no, that man needs attention right now.
Yeah.
And my wife said, thank you. She said, you welcome, but they're gonna see him. They're gonna do something today.
Yeah.
Right.
That is so me.
That's why I brought it up.
Yeah, that is so me.
And I told my wife, I said, who they remind you of? I heard the little gal next door. I said, the little gal next door. You know the little gal next door? Mm-hmm.
Well, just know that because that's what I want people to think about when they think about me, to know that I am the nurse that is gonna fight for you, because
Yeah.
I see behind the scenes.
I had never seen a nurse do that.
Yeah.
I see my wife do, but I've never seen, and definitely not to me. And she, like, I'm gonna go back get a doctor and jacket. Get out there and get them.
Right.
That's why she was like, ooh, I like her.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you for speaking at the Cultured Experience. We really appreciate you, the support, and everything. We thank you for being here.
We don't look to breed a culture that'll have more nurses like that about our patients. Too.
Yes. And what we want everybody to know is that can't just be me.
Right.
No, can't be.
Can't just be me.
Okay.
Thank you for being here with us, Mr. Brown.
In my podcast that only me can watch, it's called I'm Just Saying.